Hello, welcome back to NA Turbo. So I thought I'd just do a bit of a quick Sunday tinkering vid, really. Not much in the way of much work because the weather's a bit chilly today, but just thought I'd start with the old Supra. So today was actually this weekend rather was actually going to be a bit of fact-finding mission because he's developed a clunk from this passenger side front. So originally yesterday I was going to with my brother sort of jump on that and have a look and try and find out what's causing the clunks. Most likely going to be a joint for it because as far as we know pretty much all the joints on it are original, so that says something for Toyota quality there, and I think they're allowed a clunk after sort of 30 years and 181,000 miles. But needless to say, I decided to go out for a drive instead because the weather was windy but sunny, so perfect driving conditions for taking him out, and I do miss driving him. So unfortunately the clunk will have to wait till the following weekend to have a look at. Nothing fell off during the drive, so that's a bonus, but I think it is a joint that's worn somewhere. So that's old Hannibal the Supra. So today I'm just really going to be having a bit of a play around with the Corrado. So if you're fairly new to the channel and you haven't seen many of the videos, it's my 1995 Corrado VR6 2.9. So quite an unusual story with this one. I bought this car about 9 years ago, sort of in bits, and basically it was originally an automatic that had automatic gearbox issues. The automatic transmissions in VWs of this age were a bit cheesy, so they weren't the best. It already had from a previous owner it replaced, and it had obviously gone again. So 9 years ago I was looking around for something to replace my Mark II Golf that had unfortunately been written off. So I'd always wanted one of these, and found it advertised fairly local to me. Somebody had started the conversion from an automatic to a manual, which sounds a lot of work, but it isn't really, thanks to sort of VW equipment. So the car was stripped pretty much, bumpers and everything were off. The guy who I bought it off had got a manual gearbox to put on it, but unfortunately it stalled at one of the electrical parts of the sort of changeover, which was getting it to start. He didn't quite understand the electronics behind it. Luckily a family member's electronics engineer, so that didn't pose too much of a problem to us. So needless to say, we fitted the box, did the bit of wiring that was needed, had to source another pedal box, obviously going from automatic to manual, and it's a hydraulic clutch on these, so it had to be the right box, the right pedal box. So we sourced that, found that, and it's been on the road for about 9 years now. Recently it's had some engine work done, so these suffer from getting quite hot, so the head gasket had started weeping oil out the corner, so I had all the top end done by a mechanic friend. It's our new head gasket, and also I'd got another gearbox to put on it off a low mileage car, because the one that came with it in bits I think had done about 200,000 miles. It came off a Mark III Golf, and the diff used to whine in it, and it was very sloppy in gears, so that was all put on. But sort of jumping back to where we are now, so he's had all that done. He's just been in for his test recently, and flew through that. So just really got to do a few more bits on it. One of the jobs that does need doing is the electric window regulator on this side. It has actually failed. So we started taking it apart in summer last year. Unfortunately, the 42-degree heat just got too much to even work in. So the window stopped going down, came to the conclusion it was the regulator, so I sourced another one from Corrado Graveyard. So that's one of the jobs hopefully in the next couple of months for that, and I'll try and do a video on that as well, of that being fitted, because they are quite fiddly to fit. It's had a few electrical gremlins to pay me back for all the work on the engine. So this car's sort of been in a bang at some point in the front. It's not been written off or anything, but it's also had a lot of third-party bodges into the wiring loom. So consequently, the wiring on this side of the car is not great. So I'm going to look to source a new wiring loom for it, and that's actually contributed to some of the electrical issues. So one of them is that the second stage in the engine cooling fan is always on, and again we've traced that down to a short in the wiring, which not handily sits under the battery here. I don't think you can even see it with the battery in place, but the loom sort of runs under here, so it also gets squashed by taking the battery in and out, which I had to do because I stupidly bought a Lion battery, and if you see them advertised, folks, just don't do it. They are atrocious. This thing went flat more times than hot dinners. It was even, I always unconnect it when I'm leaving the car park. So yeah, just don't. They're cheap for a reason. So yeah, I'm replacing that battery very shortly in the next coming days, so I can bid good riddance to this horrible Lion one, which laid with starting. So I've got to do that part of the wiring loom for now. Because of the cold weather, I've actually just disconnected the sensor that runs the second stage of the hot fan, because it doesn't need it in this cool weather. But obviously when it comes to summer, we'll need to get that sorted. I'll pop also a picture of the window reg just above the video, so you can just see sort of what they look like if you're not familiar. But yeah, so that's sort of the two electrical faults I really want to get sorted this year with it, and then hopefully he'll go on and be very reliable then. The engine is so nice now. I've had the engine worked on it. So yeah, we'll just sort of get in him, wake him up from his slumber of a couple of weeks, and then I'm just going to get on with polishing really. So it was just a quick update on this car, because I know I haven't put one out in great details on it for a while, but I'm really looking forward to getting back behind the wheel of it. It's always a car that puts a smile on my face, and just the sound from the VR is amazing. So again, thanks for watching. I've recently hit, if you follow me on Insta, 100 subs, which is a lot for me. So my thanks to everybody that sort of liked and subscribed the videos. That was sort of really made me smile, and I can't believe that 100 people want to listen to me prattle on about cars like this. But yeah, thanks for that, and join me inside while we wake him up. So here we are inside the VR. Apologies for my finger there. Let's see if we can get him woken up, if the Lion battery does actually work today. Sounds promising. Oh, there we go, he's alive. So I'll just jump out and we'll have a little listen to him. So just put the handbrake on, because I always leave my handbrakes off when the car's parked. Ooh. Hopefully not making you too sick by jumping out. So this is the first time it's been started in a few weeks. Started on the button. Surprisingly, the Lion battery actually worked. But yeah, it's purring along nicely. He did have a bit of an issue earlier on where there was a misfire, and that was down to, I believe, sticking injectors. So that's sort of been cured with some Red X for now, but I suspect the injectors aren't the healthiest. I do have a spare set that I am going to put in, but I'm going to have them flow tested before I do first, just to make sure I'm not putting anything in that's worse than the ones it's got. But for now, the Red X actually seems to have solved it. So he's just going to warm up. I'm going to crack on with some polishing, and yeah, thanks for watching, and do hit like and subscribe. There we go. So sorry, I am back again, but I just thought I'd do a final one now, giving him a bit of a spit and polish. Look a lot better. It cleans up quite well. To say it has had paintwork repairs, some of which we've done, not to the greatest. As you can probably see by the bonnet that started to crack again, and also sort of down in the lacquer peel that's come off. I mean, all 90s cars generally suffer from lacquer peel. This one's gone in a few places, which hopefully I'll be attending to shortly, but he's never going to be a show winner. I drive him and enjoy him too much, and as my brother's recently discovered with paint quotes, yeah, you need a lottery win to be able to afford them, even on small cars. So it'll just get touched up and stay as it is. But the main reason I sort of wanted to come back was now he's warmed up, we can hear a bit of the VR rumble. Obviously wouldn't rev cars on a cold engine, but if I can tilt you to the back without making you sick and find the accelerator, quite hard to do one person, but you can hear some of the VR growl, hopefully. And that's what joys me to this car, just that noise is yeah, quite joyous. And yes, I am a child, and apologies to Greta Thunberg, but yeah, that's the Corrado for today. So I'm just going to do a bit of polishing on the glass, and then hopefully we can get him back on the road in sort of next week. I'll be able to reinsure him and start driving him again and enjoying him. But yeah, this is the last from me, I do promise. So once again, thank you all for watching. Please do like and subscribe, and we'll have a lot more interesting content coming soon. Bye for now.